Hello, my friends. How are you doing? Hope you're doing good. We are here today to talk about YouTube because it's almost been a year since I started, and I'm going to do like a video. March 1st is the day that I started last year. I'm going to do a video that's more of like a reflections and thoughts and stuff closer to that. But I've been wanting to do sort of a here's how I started on YouTube video for a while. This is also not going to be my monetization guide video. This is just about how to get started. I will do that. There's a lot to talk about is what I'm trying to get at. So this video is my advice on how to start on YouTube. So if that's what you're into, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to cover a little bit of technical advice and strategy. Maybe you're curious about starting a channel. Maybe you see what I do and you're like, that seems pretty okay. I also think it's pretty okay. I enjoy it. Also, like before we get started, I'm obviously a very small channel. Maybe I won't be by the time you're watching this, but probably. And I'm very happy being a small YouTuber. The reason that I'm mentioning that is because when I was getting started, before I posted any videos, I was watching advice videos from like these big channels that had, millions of subscribers, which is very informative and that was helpful. But I was really also seeking out content from creators with like 10,000 or less subscribers because I felt like that was more achievable and more like, I felt like they probably had more in touch knowledge with the starting process than someone who's been doing it for many, many years, who probably has more knowledge about the size they are now. That's just my thinking process on it. That's what I looked for before I was starting. So now I'm making a video about that. So yeah. Okay, we're sitting in my office right now. This is where I do most of my filming. Sometimes I go out in the living room because the light's different. There's like mess behind me. There's like random studio things. That table back there is where I do my overhead filming. You can see there's like an L-shaped mount there where my camera goes. We'll talk through equipment. I have a plan. Okay, we're going to cover planning and strategy first, then filming equipment, then editing, and then uploading and scheduling, and some stuff like that. So that's what this video is about. I will put timestamps down below if you want to skip ahead also. I'm going to try and not be too wordy. I have a script. I've made notes. I'll try and stick to them. All right, first of all, planning and strategy. My channel is an art channel. So that's like tutorials, paint with me, draw with me, business tips, some studio vlogs. So that's my niche. But I think that a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about is good for a lot of niches. So caveat that that's my thing, but it's not necessarily, this advice isn't specific to that. Before I got started with content creation, I did 3 things. So I knew I wanted to do YouTube. There's 3 things I did to get ready. Number 1, I watched a ton of content from similar creators to what I wanted to do. That was easy because I was already a fan of this niche. I've been watching art channels for years. So odds are pretty good if you're starting a channel, like an authentic, like personal one. You're probably already watching that creators in that niche. So I would watch those videos in a new way. I would sit there with a notepad and I would take notes on everything they did. I would make notes on their editing choices, when they played background music versus when they didn't, when they let silence sit there. I made notes of the kind of content they were making, what videos seemed to be performing well versus not. I was just doing, this is just any kind of research you would do for any kind of business. Content, producing, editing style, everything I was observing. And you can it is interesting to start looking at the video as a product rather than just consuming it. So that's the first thing I did. Second thing I did was I read everything I could on Reddit threads about being a YouTuber. There's like all these Reddit, I don't know what they are anymore because I've moved on to something else now, but they were all about like full-time YouTubers or new tubers. Take it all with a grain of salt because anyone and everyone is there, but I was looking for like advice that was actionable and I did find some there. So I did some research on people who were talking about being a YouTuber. And the third thing I did was a lot of journaling, and planning on paper. So I was making idea lists. I was figuring out what I want my channel to look like. So like the vibe, the tone, the colors I would be using, what my thumbnails would look like, the general like types of videos I'd make, and also the types of the audience I wanted to attract. All of this I like brainstormed on paper. I made like mood boards on Canva. I would go on YouTube and just scroll down the homepage and screenshot any thumbnail I liked the design of and made like a big board of all these thumbnails so that I knew what I wanted them to look like. That was all super helpful, and I did all of that before I ever made a single video. Once I'd done those 3 important things, I started to write out my content pillars. So that's just identifying like what types of videos you're going to make. So for me, that was draw with me or paint with me or whatever, making art videos. That was studio vlogs, and also like lightly like business content. So that's just like talking about how I price my products or how I whatever. And then also like I gave myself like an other category where I could put things that didn't quite fit, but still were in the niche. So basically I had 4 content pillars. And then I just came up with video ideas under each of them. And when I wanted to get started, I said, what is easiest on this list? Pick that, made that first. For me, the easiest were the draw with me videos because I could basically just point my camera down at my desk, sit there, draw, and then I could edit it, do a voiceover, add music, whatever. It was less intimidating because I wasn't on camera. So that's how I got started with it. Those did get some views, and I started getting subscribers, a nice steady trickle. But it wasn't until I started doing content that was tutorial based and more like, here's how I do X. For me, it was make notepads, that people started like really showing up, and my channel really started to grow. And that's when I really realized that maybe this is obvious. People either want to be entertained or they want to be educated, and ideally both at the same time. I'm personally probably stronger on the education side of things. I have like a teaching background. I have like a research background. So I try and lean into that, but I aspire to be better at the entertaining side too. I lean heavily on my personality to get through a lot of these videos. And I leave in a lot of mistakes because, I don't know, it's personality. Personality matters. Okay, so that's the planning research process section. Next, let's talk about filming equipment, because people do ask all the time, to everyone, not just me, what do you film with? What do you use to make videos with? So I'm going to tell you what I use now first, and then I'll tell you what I recommend in the order in which I recommend getting them. There could be some variations on things you need based on your niche, like, you know, when you're filming overhead, you need certain stuff. I don't know. So again, maybe consider your niche a little bit, but I'll go through mine. So in terms of cameras, I have 2. I have a Nikon D5100 and a Nikon D5300. I'm filming on the 5300 right now, so this is what it looks like. And here's my other one. This is my older one. I had these cameras long before I was doing YouTube, so I had them for like other work stuff. It was like a hobby. And I've done like some photography for some events and stuff, not like anything professional. I'm far from a camera expert. I have these, they do video, and so therefore I use them for YouTube. I use these cameras. I use mainly the one I'm on right now. This I'll use for like a secondary shot if I want to have a different angle. I put this, right now it's on a tripod. I'm going to do some B-roll to show you all of my different camera things because I'm using it right now. I can't really show you. So my camera's on just a regular tripod. It's actually a very cheap one. I probably should get a better one. It's fine. And I also have the overhead tripod, which you see behind me. I think there are like smarter cameras out there for doing filming that will do like smart things. This camera connects to an app on my phone that I can use to like monitor it remotely, and it works great for me, but it's what I had, so that's fine. In terms of microphone, I have a Comica Pro microphone. I'll put the exact model number somewhere here. I love it. I was deciding between this and like a Rode mic. These were a little bit cheaper, and I was like, maybe this is fine for my purposes. I love it. It's great. I use this microphone. It's attached to my camera right now. I will also put it on a little tripod. Here's my little tripod. It's just like got bendy legs, which is kind of gross, but I've just put the mic right on this and I plug it into my computer, and that's what I do voiceovers with because it's just a really nice clear quality. For my phone, which is an important part of this whole formula, I use a flexible tripod stand. It's actually clipped on back there. I'll show you. It's not a very expensive thing. They're like 20 bucks. And I use my phone a lot for filming now because I have a new one. I have a Google Pixel 8 right now, which I love for filming. It's wonderful. The microphone is not the best in the world, but you can just plug my microphone into it, so it's fine. I mostly use the camera now for filming secondary angles, for filming close-ups of art as I'm doing it, or demonstrating things really close up that I don't want to unscrew this from the mount and use it, or if I'm filming something on the go, or just like really casual, or if I'm moving around a lot because those cameras are heavy. So I do use this a lot. Up until like a month ago, I had a horrible phone. It was like a Motorola stylus phone. It crashed constantly. I would film a video and it would just not save it. It was bad. So most people have decent phones. This is just a me problem. Other equipment I have 2 big light boxes. I have some reflecting panels as well. The light boxes I use all the time, and I actually keep them set up all the time. They're just, I keep them in I have like a walk-in closet in my office and they just live in there. They're great because filming year round, often I want to film later in the day because I'm not a morning person. So I need more light on my desk. Just helps different times of year or working at night, basically. I also use both of them for product photography when I do stuff like that. I put one on either side and it looks good. And for editing, I use CapCut on desktop. It's free. I really like it. I'll talk more about editing later, but that's what I use. And I have reasons, not reasons, excuses as to why I'm using that. So that's my current setup. What I recommend if you are just getting started. So I feel like the first thing you actually, when you're getting started, all you really need is a camera phone and I would say a flexible mount because they're really handy. Like I said, there's tons of them out there, but like $20, they're not super expensive. I would just use my phone and then natural light, position yourself in front of or near a window during the daylight and then edit using free software. I truly think you can do good stuff with just that. Some of my most popular videos of all time were using those exact things. I have done videos with far more complex and beautiful things that nobody cared about because sometimes the quality on phone cameras is really good. It's really good. So a lot of the times you wouldn't even know. So first I would start with phone flexible mount. The first thing I would invest in after that is a microphone. I do recommend mine. I really like it. You can plug it into your phone using an adapter if you want to, because it's a headphone jack. So I have like a headphone jack to USB-C adapter and it works totally fine. You could even get a little mount that could like attach to your phone that the camera could go in or use a special tripod. That's all just like depends on your phone situation. But really, I think any microphone you can plug in is probably good. Just because like the microphones on your phone are down on the bottom, so they're not pointing towards you. If you're talking at it like this, the microphone's over here. So it's not, I mean, I know it's designed to be better, but like, it's just not the same as working on an actual microphone. That's all. So you may have to do a little bit more editing to compensate for the sound if you're using your phone mic, which you can totally do, but it's just, the more steps you can do to reduce the amount of time you have to spend editing is a really good plan. Other supplies, I haven't used a ring light, but I suspect it probably would be a good thing because these box lights that I have are great, but they are huge and they are not super portable. I mean, they are, but you have to like break them down and put them in a suitcase and yeah, it's a lot. I have used a wired lav mic, so that's the mic that clips onto your shirt. I didn't like it because of the big wire and it just didn't sound good enough to me. I like the mic on my camera, but I know lots of people use the wireless lav. They do sound good. I think they're just quite expensive. The ones that I found recommended to me were like $350 Canadian. So I just don't really have a purpose for it at the moment. You might like that better. That's just another option. I would invest that down the road a little bit. This microphone that I have and that I'm recommending is really multi-purpose. So I use it for talking at the camera like this. I also use it when I'm doing a tutorial. It picks up all the sound of like the pencil on the paper, all the little rustles. People like the sound effects of art. And I also use it for voiceovers. So like I said, multi-purpose. And the last thing I would definitely recommend you get when you get a little further is an external hard drive. And I would get a solid state drive. The difference between a regular hard drive and solid state is that regular has a little fan in it and it kind of whirs. The solid state doesn't make any noise. It's basically a jumbo USB stick. And that is faster to edit off of than the one that has to kind of boot up every time. I use the one with the fan and it's slow, but it's fine because I'm not in a rush ever. But if I was going to buy more hard drives, which I will have to do eventually because video files are huge, I'll get more solid state drives. My computer is so full all the time and I feel really sorry for it, so I'm trying to offload as much as I can. And I edit off the external drive as well as store all my finished videos there. Okay, next section on editing. How do I edit my videos? Like I said, I use CapCut for desktop for editing. I used to use iMovie. I started off using iMovie because I didn't need to do anything fancy. It was just, I just need to make these clips line up and add music. But now I use CapCut. It is free on desktop. I haven't paid for anything. And it has everything I need it to do. I have tried using DaVinci and using Premiere Pro, and there's just a learning curve, like anything. It's just software and it's very powerful and very complex. I was not, and still am not, interested in sitting down and learning that. So I am very happy with using CapCut. I can do all the effects I want. I can drag and drop as many clips and sounds and text as much as I want. And that's pretty much was my priority, was having something that I could do dynamic text on the screen. And yeah, it's It's not fancy editing, but I think it looks good. Compresses really well. So talking about my process, film my video, then I will make a folder on my hard drive or wherever you want it that is for this video, and I'll put all my videos in there, all the photos I want to reference, any music I'm going to use. Sometimes I'll put a text file that includes any links I want to put in the description of the video. Anything that I filmed on my phone, I'll export off of Google Photos. I put it all together. This is like, I call the organizational phase on my workflow, and I have a checklist. So I get that done, get all my stuff together, and then I start putting it all into CapCut. I'm not going to give you like a full video tutorial here. If you want that, let me know and I can do it sometime. It's just too much to put in one video. But I'll tell you the features that I normally use. For audio, I do loudness normalization so that all my videos, all my clips are about the same level of volume. Then I will use noise reduction or like background noise removal. I've been thinking about not using that lately because I was listening to another person's vlog and they had that ambient background staticky noise. And I was like, it feels more like a FaceTime call. Maybe it's more personal. So I'm going to think about that. But right now I am using the audio background noise remover. In terms of color correction, I generally just change the temperature and then the brightness of my video clips, but I can do all that in that app in CapCut. And sometimes I will speed up some parts of the video if I'm doing like a tutorial. I'll like compress it so it goes faster. I record all my voiceovers right in the software and I edit it in the software along with the footage. And then I use the detect audio transcription feature in CapCut to do my captions. So I love this feature. Basically, when I've finished editing and the video's done, last step I do is I do the captions. I have to wait while it processes. It's not very long, just a minute usually. And then it puts captions along my whole video. And then I go in and proofread them because it doesn't make a lot of mistakes, but it never gets like, when I say Lucky Sprout Studio, which is the name of my business, it often puts Lucky Spirit Studio. I think it's just my accent combined with its reading skills. So there are like little things like that, but generally it's very accurate. And then so I've got the captions in, I hide them so they're not visible, export my video, and then I go back and I make them visible again and I export just the captions. It's all like a feature you can just see. It's very easy when you're there. So then when I'm done, I have the video file and I have an SRT file, which I upload at the same time to YouTube, and that has all my captions with timings. So that's how I make sure that my captions are accurate because a big percentage of my audience watches with captions on. I get that data on the studio dashboard. So it's important for me to have them accurate, and I do them in that external file so that YouTube can automatically translate them as well. It may not be like the 100% perfect translation because it's an automatic one, but I figure if my transcription is as accurate as possible in English, then the international ones have the best shot of being good. That's all my video stuff. That's all my editing tips. Like I said, I can do more videos on editing if you're interested. Next, uploading and scheduling. Uploading videos takes a long time for me. I think it's my internet, so therefore I try and create content a little bit ahead of time. I have a content calendar. I do a quarter of the year at a time, so 3 months at a time all planned out, and I'll try and record as much as I can at the beginning of each month to get it all ready. And then I also come up with ideas on the fly, and I'll be like, I'm going to do this today, and then I'll have extra videos. So that's fun because I like to be able to have the structure and the free time to do it. Again, this is like, I'm full-time self-employed. I can do as much as I want. But having the schedule does help to take the pressure off. I feel like I know what's happening. I don't have to worry like, oh, I have to make a video for this week. It's more like, oh, I could make some extra videos if I want. I try to plan videos with varying difficulty levels. So like a draw with me where I'm just filming myself drawing and talking, really easy, versus like something where I have to do an in-depth tutorial where I have to order supplies or prepare in advance. Those are different levels of difficulty. So I make sure I have a range in my schedule. I also plan all my content out in Notion. I plan my whole business in Notion, but I have like a big YouTube calendar there. And that's really helpful to me. It's a bigger conversation about planning, but I just use Notion to organize, and I write my scripts in Notion as well. I think it's really important to keep learning about YouTube, just like any industry or any business you're in. Like, I'm doing this because I love it and it's fun, but it's also part of my business, so I do treat it like that. You know, so I'm watching, like I watch YouTube more than anything else. I don't have like streaming services really. or TV. I just watch YouTube. So I learn a lot by watching other people's content, but I also listen to podcasts and off-script content, so like interviews or live streams or stuff from creators that I really like, where they talk a bit more about the industry and or just their experiences, and I do learn a lot from that. I'm also in some Discord communities for YouTube creators. All of that's really helpful, helps you feel less alone because you can, like, I don't know anyone else doing YouTube locally that I know. I'd love to, but I don't. But yeah, it is important at a certain point to like make sure you are learning from people who are bigger than you because they have more experience and have been doing it longer. And that's why I'm only really trying to speak to people who are either haven't done YouTube before or have like smaller channels than me because I mean, I'm only as big as I am. I can't speak to things I haven't done. But like I said, I found content from smaller YouTube channels about running their channel really helpful when I was starting out. So hope it's been helpful so far. The only thing I want to talk about remaining is consistency. When I got started, I took the pressure off myself by saying, you know what, don't worry about a schedule. Just make videos when you feel like you can, because you're just trying to get started and see if you like it. And I think that's really good advice. Consistency is really hard for me in general. I don't work well on regimented schedules, but I have been lately, and it's been working. I'm actually seeing better results, so I think there is some truth to it being good. So basically, this is what I've gathered. Now, little aside, there are so many theories about the YouTube algorithm. I'm not going to get into it. You can hear different advice from all sorts of people. This is what I've gathered and what I've researched and what I've seen true for me. YouTube is constantly measuring creators against themselves. So what that means is like YouTube will look at your view history and how people react to your videos to decide if they're going to push more of your videos to more people. So for example, if you have a month where you put out a ton of videos and you get a lot of views and it's really good, the next month you put out one video and your views are significantly down, YouTube is not necessarily, from my understanding, going to go, oh, well, it's proportionate to the number of videos they put out. It's like, oh, no, this month was good and this month was worse, so their content must be a little bit worse. So apparently the consistency in the number of videos per month has more than just a benefit of people being like, oh yeah, I can rely on seeing it every Tuesday or whatever. There's also the benefit of your numbers look more stable, and therefore YouTube assumes that you've got consistency, you're more worth pushing out. And I have noticed this seems to be true. The months that I'm consistent and put out, one video a week are much better. My personal objective is 4 to 6 videos a month. And I try and aim for topics I know my audience will like, and I will give myself an allowance of 1 or 2 videos that are a little bit, I know they're not going to perform as well, but I'm really going to enjoy making it. Because I have to enjoy it. This would be awful if I didn't enjoy it. For example, I know that my studio vlogs don't perform nearly as well as my tutorial videos. People are more interested in the tutorials. I have my core group who watch my vlogs, and I really appreciate them. So I really like making the vlogs as well, and they kind of serve as like a scrapbook for my life, so I value them. So it doesn't matter to me as much that, I put out a vlog a month or whatever, it doesn't do as well. That's okay, because it was about other things for me. But I also know because of that, I'm not prioritizing that as my main content, and it's easy to get pushed aside if there's more important things to post. And also, maybe they'll be a big performer in the future, who knows? Things are always changing. So there you go. That is my how to get started on YouTube advice video. I hope it was really insightful in terms of the planning and the processes that go into building a channel. And this is what I do. And I would say that my channel is growing at a good rate. I've had a couple of videos do really well. I've had lots of videos do average, and growing slowly but surely, and very appreciative of everyone who's come on board. I'm really aspiring to make my videos more entertaining as well as informative. Obviously, I mentioned I know I have that informative lean with my content. I'm thinking a lot more about like storytelling and how I can incorporate that even in stuff that is more like DIY or tutorial based. I haven't figured it out yet, but that's my goal. I want to add more entertainment value in addition to the smart stuff. But I'm enjoying the process. It's fun. I just love making videos. Wait, do I have my old camera? Hold on. I'm going to show you something. Okay, this is just a little nostalgia nugget for everyone who watched this video to the end. This is a camera bag. You may not recognize it because I don't think people have these big camera bags anymore. This is from, actually this camera bag is probably from the 80s when my dad had it. This is my camera. This is my first video camera. I bought it with my, I had a child savings account as a kid. And when I was like 13 or so, there was enough money in it that I could buy this. And this is what I got. This is a Sony Handycam. It used tapes. Here's some fresh ones. I discovered this in my parents' basement recently. So they're, yeah, brand new tapes that I could use. It has the batteries exposed on the back. It's got a little window. This was cutting, I can't tell you how cutting edge this was before digital cameras. It rotated, has a little viewfinder. That's probably all it does. USB streaming. Microphones right here on the front. Oh, it had a light as well, just like a bright light that came on. Can I open the, okay, can I open this? Hold on. Oh, the battery's dead, but, oh, there's a tape in there. Wonder what it is. Okay, I'll find that out later. I'm showing you this because when I was 13, I wanted to make movies and I wanted to be a filmmaker. And I didn't really know how, but I bought this and I would film videos with my friends or my cousins and just put them on my computer and show my parents basically. But it was, YouTube really wasn't a thing. I'm of that age that YouTube wasn't an option, not even an option, it just didn't exist yet. So the fact that now, fast forward all these years later, that I'm here doing this and making videos and talking to people around the world, this would have probably like blown my mind. And I'm very, very, very grateful for it. And I talk about gratitude in a lot of my videos because I do have that for just the life I've built for myself. But when I think about in terms of like life goals and satisfaction and fulfilling like childhood dreams, being able to make videos was all I wanted to do. So yeah, so I'm doing it. I'm really proud. And we've come from this, well, to this. There's my journey. Is this a good thumbnail? I don't know. I can't even see myself. Anyways, this is the journey and I'm happy you're here. I hope you make a channel if you haven't already. Make some YouTube. There's so many billions of videos on YouTube that I found it very not scary to put content out there. Also, if you're in my niche, the art niche, nicest people. I've had just the loveliest comments. I don't know. I always was prepared for like nasty comments, and I'm sure eventually I'll get, you know, a real stinker here and there, but just the nicest people so far. Couldn't ask for a better audience out there. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'd love to have you be part of our little community here. And like the video because that does good things for the algorithm for me. And have a great day. Good luck. Let me know how it goes. Tell me if you made it this far in the comments, let me know where you are in your YouTube journey because I'm very curious whether I have a lot of people who haven't started or just smaller channels. I'm interested. All right. Have a lovely day. Be good. Love you. Mwah, mwah. Bye.